Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Sunday, which means it's time for a review show special. Now, this is where I take a look at a particular company, I take a look at a particular producer, and I talk to you. I go into a deep dive into one product or a couple of different products, and today I'm going to do another review show special on Penguin Magic. Penguin are bringing out so many tricks at the moment, it's difficult for me to keep track of all of them. I'm trying to review as many as I can. They are on fire. So I thought the best way to do it would be to do a review show special on 3 items that have come out from Penguin recently. I'm probably going to do another one of these in the next few weeks. But this one is going to be about 3 tricks recently bought out by Penguin Magic that I really, really like. Spoiler alert, you're going to get good reviews for all of these because I think all 3 of them are very, very good. And we're going to get into it right now. So, first up, we have Going Up by Sean Ridgway. So, like I said, the first review is Going Up by Sean Ridgway and Penguin Magic P3 Productions. And I've never heard of Sean Ridgway before, but I'm telling you right now, after watching this, I am a huge fan. So what is Going Up? Well, Going Up is basically a packet trick. It's a packet trick, and it's kind of like a visual mini ambitious card. I don't want to say anything else. I'm going to let you have a look at a performance first of all. Have a look at this performance, and then after the performance, I'll talk about what I think. I've got have a look at this. I've got 4 cards.
Yep.
And this is not really a card trick, because normally with card tricks you have someone pick a card, you find them. That's not what this is all about. This is actually a visual demonstration of a magical elevator.
Right.
Let me explain. We're going to use this this King of Hearts as the guy that's riding the elevator. Okay, we'll call him Harry Hart.
Harry Hart.
Why not? And these cards here, the other 3 cards, doesn't really matter what they are, but these cards are going to represent the elevator, and there's going to be 3 floors because there's 3 cards. There's going to be the ground floor, there's going to be the first floor, and there's going to be the second floor. Right? Let me show you what happens in a magical elevator. This is like the Great Glass. Have you heard of the Great Glass Elevator before?
Yeah.
Willy Wonka. Right.
Yes. Yeah. What's up?
You've what? I don't think they did a film on the Great Glass Elevator. It was the sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I don't think they did a film. Although in the new film, there was a scene where the elevator... Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Have you seen Wonka, by the way? The new...
It was alright.
I really like that. Did you see Wonka?
I haven't seen
That's
it.
very good.
The Wonka experience in Glasgow was quite funny.
Less said about that, the better. Right, this king is going to go right here. Should we say the basement?
What's he doing in the basement?
Burying bodies. I don't know. Whatever. Doing something in the basement. This whole analogy has run away with me, to be perfectly honest. So at this point, I just don't give a shit. Right, he's there.
He's in the basement.
Right, he's in the basement. He's going to go on the magical elevator up to the first floor. It looks something like that. I mean, it is almost like magic. I mean, look at that. He's there on the first floor now. We're going to see if we can make him go to the next one. I'll press the button on the elevator. I forgot to do that the first time. We just thought it. It was a psychic elevator as well. It's bloody amazing. Watch, he goes up to the next floor. Look at that. He's riding up in the elevator. He's right there. And watch the last one. Look, he's going to go right there. And you're going to see him appear on 1, 2, 3. And there he is, right there, back. I mean, he's on the top floor again. This is absolutely incredible. And that is how a magical elevator works. You got any questions on that?
Yes.
So there you go. That is Going Up. That is Going Up. Now, here's the thing. There is a ton of information on this project. You've got Sean himself that talks about how to do this, and you've also got Nick. Nick starts off the tutorial, and then you've got Sean that comes on a little bit later on. There's live performances, as you would expect with the Penguin Magic product, but what you've just saw was kind of the main handling. So he goes through, Nick goes through exactly what the cards are that you receive. They're all custom printed. He then goes through how the cards work together, and then he goes through how to put it all together. And then after that, he goes through into bonus routines and hints and tips and ways of actually making it better. And I took a couple of those hints and added it to the performance that I just did. So it's not just the main routine that you learn. I took a couple of different bits from the talk later on. I added that to it as well, that made it just a little bit cleaner. But in essence, this was very easy to learn. This is not a difficult trick to do. Now, I think part of the reason I didn't find it very difficult is because there's only really one move that makes the magic work. And that one move was very, very similar to a color change with a full deck that I learned from a tricker tape video many, many years ago by Pat Page, and I still do that to this day. So it was, I didn't have a learning curve on this. The move that you need to do, I already was able to do that very, very easily. But to be honest, it's not a difficult move anyway. What I love about this, it's like a packet trick version of kind of Gate and Bloom's Elevator or Ray's Rise, if you know Ray's Rise by Ray Crosby. In that you show the cards, you take out one of the cards, you take out the king, you put it face up at the bottom, and then you see it visually melt up from there to there to there, and at the top you turn it over and you put the cards away and they're reset, ready to go again. It's that direct. Now, let's talk about the pros and cons. First of all, it's super visual. Like, it is amazingly visual, and there's no angle issues really to speak of. If you're doing this walk around, it is perfect. If you're doing it like in a banquet table situation and you just angle the cards down, that looks really good as well. Nick will go through all of the angles, but the angle issues aren't a problem at all. It's also very easy to do. You're not going to be spending much time learning how to do this. It's quite an easy routine to perform. And it instantly resets. So when you finish the trick, you just turn that card over and you're reset, ready to go again. Now, let's talk about the negatives. The cards are not examinable at any stretch of the routine. At the beginning, they're not examinable. At the end, they're not examinable. Now, there are a couple of different ways that Nick suggests that you can go with this. He does ultimately suggest the best way to do this is as a super quick visual packet trick. In that you go up to a group of people and say, yeah, show me some magic. You bring out 4 cards and you go boom, 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 boom. The card comes to the top. You put the cards away. You go into something else. I think that's a great way to do it because you're moving on to something else almost immediately. You're not giving them time to examine the cards. And this would make a great opener. You could even kind of present it like, okay, guys, I'm going to show you some magic, but I want to see how observant you are. So I'm going to do a little test with a king and 3 other cards. I'm going to put that king at the bottom. Watch. Did you see it go up? Oh, you missed that. Did you see it go up again? Did you see it come to the top? No, you missed it. Great. This is going to work on you perfectly. Let me show you. Can you shuffle these cards? And then you're into it. I think as an opening routine where you're focusing on something else immediately, and this is just kind of a little test to test how observant they are or something, I think this would work really good. But there are other options as well. The 4 cards could be on the bottom of the deck and you could have 4 cards taken out. Do something like a Vernon switch as you take the cards out. And that might be a way of doing it. It could be a case of you have them pick 4 cards and you make sure one of them's a King of Hearts. You do a secret subtraction and you take the cards away and now you're into the situation and they think they've seen the cards front and back. Because that's the thing, with these cards, you can never show the faces of the other 3 cards. They can only see the face of the king. That's something to bear in mind, right? Now, the other thing to talk about is the other way that you could do the switch actually even would be to use a Himba wallet. If you were using a Himba wallet or a Tyvek sort of Alan Wong style Himba switch envelope or something, that would be an interesting way to actually switch this packet in and out if you wanted to. But like I say, I agree with Nick in that the best way to do this is kind of as an opening quick packet trick. But it is important for you guys to consider that this packet trick cannot be examined at any point in the routine. Not at the beginning, not in the middle, not at the end. And I know from speaking to people and people leaving comments on the channel that sometimes people are like, hey, I want everything to be examinable. It's why I don't use gimmicks. I want everything to be examinable. That's the problem that you've got here. Nothing's examinable, right? But outside of that, it's great. I do think this would also make a great lead-in to an ambitious card. You start off with 4 cards and you say, hey, I'm going to show you something with 4 cards. Boom, 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 boom. The king comes to the top. Excuse me. The king comes to the top, and you say, well, you know what? Let's see if we can go one step further. Have a card from the rest of the deck, and they pick a card from the deck. And as they pick a card from the deck, they sign it, and then it goes into an ambitious card. And you can very easily make it obvious as to why you're using that transition by saying, look, we're going to make it 20 times harder by using an entire deck. So now it's not going to go through 3 cards, it's got to go through almost an entire pack. And you're going to sign the card as well. Now, if you were going to do it that way, you might want to consider actually having the cards taken from a deck. So you take 4 cards out and you show them. You do the thing with just the king, and then you apparently put the cards away, but you really control them to the bottom and cop them out as they pick a card, and now you're into an ambitious card. It's a great lead into an ambitious card. Both Nick and Sean are going to go through bonus routines. They're going to go through other stuff that you can do with this as well. One other thing that I'd like to add, I think this would be great for social media. I've actually put it up as a shorts on my YouTube channel. Don't really do anything else other than YouTube, but I've put it up in as a shorts. I know Ryland is desperate to put this up on his social media as well. So as a social media trick, or as a virtual trick, if you do virtual shows, this is fantastic, but it also works in a live environment. Just be careful of the fact that the cards can't be examined. If that's an issue to you, that's something you need to be aware of. Outside of that, I love it. I'm going to give it 95%. If there was a way to have them examined, it would have got 100%, but as it happens, it gets 95%. I love packet tricks, and I think this is a very good one. It's available from Penguin Magic. It's called Going Up. Sean Ridgway, if you're watching this, congratulations. This is very, very good. So next up, we're going to be talking about one of my favourite creators. We're going to be talking about Nicholas Lawrence. Now, Nicholas Lawrence is an incredible magician and creator of magic. He's created more tricks than most people have forgotten. He's very much a modern-day Jay Sankey. And this is Anniversary Hearts, which is a return to Penguin Magic. He's brought a lot of stuff out through Penguin through the years. This is, and I'm going to make a big statement right now, but I mean it, I think this is probably the best version, the best gaffed version of Anniversary Waltz I have ever seen. Now, first of all, I should tell you that Nick is not on the tutorial. The tutorial is being done by Eric Tate. That's like somebody writing a song that's a really good songwriter and then getting the greatest songwriter in the world to perform it or something. I think Eric is amazing and does a great job on this tutorial. It's not even that long because it's not difficult to do. This is like a 15-20 minute tutorial with live performances as well. That's all it needs to be. This is a very easy trick. Now, if you've not seen it, we're going to have a look at a performance of this right now. Let's have a look at a performance of Anniversary Hearts, and then we'll talk about what we think.
Jack, yo.
This is probably the single most romantic card trick you've ever seen.
Should I be concerned?
Why would you be concerned? This is a romantic card trick. This is beautiful. Have you right? What's your favourite romantic comedy?
I don't have one.
What?
I don't have one.
Why not? Which ones did you like? Have you ever seen a romantic comedy?
Not from memory.
So uncultured.
Love Actually? You've never seen Love Actually?
Nope.
What do you do at Christmas?
Get drunk.
Oh my God! Think about a romantic comedy. All I keep thinking of is What Women Want, and I don't know why, because that's like the worst romantic comedy ever. There's millions of them. You've never seen any of them?
No.
Yeah? She's All That? Never seen She's... Oh, forget it. Right, I'm going to do a romantic comedy for you. This is going to be a card trick, all based around a romantic comedy. Okay, now, with a romantic comedy, you have... Except it's not going to be very romantic and there's no comedy. Other than that, it's going to be perfect. Most romantic comedies have a male lead and a female lead. So I'm going to use the King of Hearts and the Queen of Hearts, and that can be our male lead and our female lead. Okay?
All right.
Now, let me explain something here. This is how all romantic comedies work. Two people, and if you like romantic comedies, you'll attest to this. Two people find each other, they hate each other initially, then they grow to love each other, then there's something that happens that forces them apart even though they want to be together, and at the very end they come back together and all is good in the world. Would you agree with that? That's pretty much the basis of all romantic comedies, and there's normally like a best friend who loves the... It doesn't matter, you should really go and check out the genre, it's good. But anyway, we're going to use the King of Hearts and the Queen of Hearts, and I'm going to try and do something magical here, and I want you to watch very carefully. You see the King and the Queen of Hearts?
Yeah.
Watch this. If I just do this, watch the heart on the King of Hearts. This is going to look amazing. If I just rub...
What the hell?
I can take that heart
What the fuck?
off that King of Hearts. I'm going to put it right there. Give a little rub, it really is on there. Look, I can actually move the heart from the King of Hearts. Now that's the equivalent of kind of the start of the movie, where they kind of
someone's heart.
Well, yeah, you know, it's kind of a romantic thing, isn't it? You take that. I know you're into horror movies, but taking a heart doesn't always have to mean that you are actually taking someone's heart. It doesn't always mean that. It can mean other things. So we've got the Queen now has the King's heart. We're going to go one step further, Jack. Okay, because we're going to try and jump now to the end of the movie where they come together forever in life. Okay, and I need you to take the pen and take the lid off. And first of all, what I want you to do is you are going to sign the Queen of Hearts, but instead of signing your name, you're going to write the name of who you think the name of the female lead in this film is. What's her name? Beth.
Yeah.
Any reason you went for Beth?
Nope.
Do you fancy a Beth? No.
I don't know any Beths.
Okay, fair enough. That's interesting. And what's the name of the male lead?
I already knew where that was going.
Beth and Matt, of course.
God,
it has to be Beth and Matt. It has to be, doesn't it? Okay. Hold out your left hand palm up, your right hand palm down. We're going to put these two together. And we're going to put them in between your hand, Beth and Matt. And then what happens is they come together at the end of the film. And we don't know what happens. That's just weird. Stop that. They come together at the end of the film. We don't know what happens at the end of the film. We assume that they live happily ever after. Normally, there's a scene at the end of every romantic comedy where they get married and they come together in holy matrimony, and they fuse together in life as they have during the course of the film. So to represent that, I'm going to take those two cards, Beth and Matt, and I'm going to fuse them together into one card, piece for piece, fibre for fibre. That is now one card, and Beth always will have and always has have Matt's heart. There you go, and you can have that as a souvenir, as a reminder of your very first romantic comedy experience. So a lot of people have tackled the anniversary waltz plot, and typically it's just a different handling that gets you to the same finale, which is the double-faced card that's revealed at the end. Now, occasionally people will put something unique, a different spin on it. Nicholas Mavresis very recently brought out a version with Alakazam that was very good, that was completely different. Obviously, I've got Easy Waltzer, which is a version with a regular deck of cards, but I think that Nick has actually improved and is one of the only people that have improved the gaffed version of Anniversary Waltz, because you've still got that Anniversary Waltz piece. So you've still got the bit where the two cards fuse together into one. But you've got this wonderful moment at the beginning where the heart comes off the King of Hearts and goes onto the Queen of Hearts. And it looks amazing. When I saw Eric do this, I was like, oh my God, that is so visual. And it is so easy to do. There is a custom-made gimmicked card that you get with it. I've never seen a gimmick like this before. You have to be an evil genius like Nicholas Lawrence in order to make a gimmick like this, I have to think. And this gimmick card really does all the work for you. So you take out the King and the Queen of Hearts, and when you take them out, you show the King and the Queen of Hearts. You can very clearly see there's just two cards, and then boom, the heart jumps from one to the other, and it looks that clean. And the nice thing is, as soon as that heart's jumped, you can then go into that Anniversary Waltz piece where the two cards go together into one, and they sign both sides of the card. Genius. Absolutely genius. The routining behind this is exceptional. Now, the performance that you just saw, that was the first time that I've ever performed this, but you better believe I'm going to be doing this a lot. Now, in the package, you get a ton of reveal cards. So you get the gimmicked cards that are going to make the trick work, and you get a ton of reveal cards, and you also get a double backer, which you need to do the routine. At the end of the routine, you give the reveal card away, and if you just you're in a perfect situation then where you can just palm off the two gimmicks right there, and you're left with a regular deck of cards. Or if you want to, you can up-jog the jokers, take the jokers out, and you're left with a regular deck of cards. So you can go into any other routine that you want to go into But if you want to reset it, it only takes a couple of seconds as well. You can probably reset this in about 10 seconds very, very easily. Now, one thing to bear in mind, that if you are going to go into this routine, the gimmicked card needs to be in the middle of the deck, right? So the gimmick card needs to be in the middle of the deck. And so there is a small setup. I don't think realistically you'd be able to do any other routine before this. This would kind of be an opener or a standalone trick, because you need to have that setup in place in order to go into this routine. Now, that's not a problem. This makes a great opener because it's very visual. It's like, hey, pick a card. We're going to take out the King and the Queen of Hearts. Let me show you something with 2 cards. Boom, 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 boom. Sign, boom, done. Shuffle these. Let's move on to something else. So I think it makes a great opener, so it's not a problem, but it's something that you need to bear in mind. If you are going to do this as a finale, for example, you're either going to need to have it set up in another deck and switch the deck, or figure out some way to get that setup in place and not touched during the rest of your act, which you can do, but it's something to bear in mind. The routine itself is very, very easy. There's nothing difficult at all. You'll be performing it almost immediately. It's why the tutorial isn't very long. Pack small, plays big. Everything's examinable at the end because you're left with a regular deck. And it's a nice giveaway. You get a ton of reveal cards. I think you get like 20 odd, 26. But you can obviously get more if you want to from Penguin Magic. I love this. I think this is great. I think that moment of that heart moving from one card to the other is as strong as One by Matthew Underhill. I've always loved One by Matthew Underhill. If you've ever seen David Penn perform it, he does it brilliantly. I think this is as strong as One, if not better, because the heart is going from one card to the other. But the fact that that sets you up automatically for the second phase where they're fused together, this is brilliant. This is absolutely genius. Perfect for wedding performers. Perfect for close-up magicians that work in situations where there's families and maybe couples together. Just a really great trick. This is going to get 100%. This is fantastic. In fact, I'm going to go as far as saying I think this is one of the best tricks that Nicholas Lawrence has ever created, and the gimmick is diabolically clever. However you think this works, when you see the gimmick, you're going to be like, what, really? That? Oh, wow. So 100%, absolutely amazing. If you haven't picked this up, I highly recommend it. It's called Anniversary Hearts, and it is by Nicholas Lawrence and Penguin Magic. Okay, so the final product we're going to be looking at today is the Executive Pad. Now, I questioned whether I should review the Executive Pad or not, purely because I'm in it. But I decided that I should, because I haven't seen a lot of people talking about this. And this is a wonderful prop. And there's 2 completely different tutorials on there. And I'm going to show you in a minute a live performance of some of the routines that I put on the Executive Pad. But let me explain what it is first of all. It is basically a very clever, well thought out way of doing an add a number pad style routine. So when you watch the first part of the tutorial, you're going to see some absolutely incredible mentalism applications. And there's 2 trailers for this project. A trailer that kind of talks about the stuff I've put on there, and a trailer that talks about all the mentalism applications. Go and look at the trailer for the mentalism applications. There really is so much you can do with this. It is basically a self-working switch of a piece of paper that can be signed by the spectator. When you realize that that's what you have here, the amount of stuff that you can do, imagine being able to switch something that the spectator has signed for something completely different. That's basically what we have here. Now, the mentalism applications are presented in sort of a parlor or a stage style situation, but you could very easily do this in close-up. The pad itself fits perfectly into an inside jacket pocket. It will take that entire jacket pocket up, but it fits very, very simply into an inside jacket pocket. Now, let me tell you how I got involved. One of the times I was at Penguin Magic, they showed me an early prototype of this. And I remember being in their workshop and being shown this. And I'm like, that is brilliant. That's the best design of that type of thing that I've ever seen. There is so much you can do with that. I asked what they're doing with it. And they were like, oh, this mentalism thing. I'm like, that's cool. But you do realize you could do a stack of magic with this as well. And there's so many different magical routines that you could do. And they were like, really? And I was like, yeah, and we left it at that. And then they contacted me when I was back in the UK and said, hey, would you be okay to do a tutorial explaining some of your routines for this from a magician's point of view. And I said, I'd be delighted to, absolutely delighted to. And that's what I did. And I literally went out, and I'd already been thinking about it, because when I see something I really like, I just know immediately I'm going to use it. I start thinking of ideas for it in my little notepads, and I just knew immediately I would use this. So I'd already come up with a bunch of stuff, and when they sent it to me, I immediately went out and tried it out. I'm like, this is getting killer reactions. And my approach to it very simply was, this is a little bit like doing Out to Lunch, but in full view of the audience. Imagine doing Out to Lunch, but without needing the elastic band around the deck. Imagine doing Out to Lunch where you don't have to remove the card, you know, because normally with Out to Lunch, you have to remove the card, right? You don't have to do this here. You can literally have a pad. You can have them sign the pad. You can write whatever you want on there. And in the action of giving them that pad to hold, they're going, you can switch whatever information you want to for something else. When I realized that that was what we had here, the routines just wrote themselves. And I think I put about 10 or 15 routines on there. I can't remember exactly. And I asked Penguin if I could have some of the live performances to share on this video, and they said yes. So rather than me performing this in-house to people like Jack or Michael or Matt or Katie, I'm going to show you some performances that actually are on the project. So here is, you can go look at the trailer if you want to see some of the mentalism applications. That's awesome. If you're a mentalist, there's so much you can do with this. If you want to do an add a number style routine, oh my God. But I want to show you some of the stuff you can do with this if you're a walk-around magician. I wrote something on the other side.
Yeah.
So here's the question. If I told you, Tom, that what I wrote on the other side of this, on the pad on the other side, if I told you it would predict the choice that you're going to make in a second, would that be good?
That'd be excellent.
That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it is. Okay. When I snap my fingers, Tom, what I want you to do, I want you to name any letter in the alphabet. Can you do that for me?
Yeah. L.
L.
Yeah.
So if I predicted L, would that be good?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Well, I did. I mean, I put every single letter on there as well as L. So, you know, you should be impressed. But you're going to add a few letters down there, Tom. Can you just put your signature there?
Signature?
Yeah, just put your name there or your signature, or just print it. Ideally, if you put your signature, I can steal all your stuff later on. So, you know, that's brilliant stuff. Thank you very much. We're going to get to that in a little bit later on. Those letters do actually serve a purpose, and you're going to help me. It was George, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, my wife is obsessed with celebrities. Like, she's always trying to find out who's dating who's marrying who's screwing who, you know, they're constantly thinking this out. Now, what I've got on my phone is I have a list of 100 random celebrities that I got off the internet, all right? We're going to pick one at random. I tend to find if I ask somebody to name a celebrity, they tend to go for the same 3 or 4. And I don't want you saying later on, Craig was a pretty good magician, but he made me pick a particular celebrity. So it's going to be random. You're going to give me a number from 1 to 100. It's totally up to you.
Okay. 77.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because that's my age. I like how you laughed, he didn't. He's like, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. 77, yeah? So here's my notes page.
Yep.
And right there, do you see somewhere celebrities, yeah?
I do.
So, you can scroll to 77 and tell everyone what celebrity is right there.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Okay, now, if you'd have said a different number, that would have been a different celebrity. It's not like Tom Cruise is on every...
Yeah. Want me to show the camera?
Yeah, if you want to, you can do. There you go. You're like a pro. That's amazing. You need to walk around with me and be my travelling audience. So we're going to try and do something here. That's your signature, right, Tom? Can you do me a favour? Can you hold your hand out for me? Just like that. Can you hold your hand out? I'm going to put this right here. Now, you could have said any celebrity, right?
Yeah.
But you said Tom Cruise. You'd gone for a different number, would have been a different celebrity.
Yeah.
And obviously, I made the joke earlier on. I said name a letter, and they're all on there. The reason that I can't read minds is I'm not a mind reader. I'm a magician. So it's my job to make things disappear. That's what magicians do. So I'm going to try and make something disappear, but nothing physical. I'm going to try and make something not tangible disappear. I'm going to try and make ink disappear. Okay. See, if I just snap my fingers, I can make all of the letters on this pad vanish. Well, not all of them, most of them, but I left a few letters. I left a T, an O, an M, R-I-S-E.
That's crazy.
And that's your signature. That's yours. You can have that with a card trick. Now, who here is the best shuffler? Wonderful. Do you play cards, sir?
It was Max, right?
Frequently, yeah.
Most magicians, you ask most people to shuffle, they shuffle like this.
Yeah.
You can always tell a magician will do one of these. You've probably seen one of these before. This is called a waterfall shuffle. Yeah. You can always tell a really good magician they do one of these. This is called a pharaoh shuffle because you can butt the cards together at one end. Means that you can do that last bit with one hand. Kind of looks fancy. Hardest shuffle a lot is this one. This is where you take the deck with one hand, you cut the deck with one hand, you shuffle the deck with one hand. You do absolutely everything with one hand. That's called a lonely guy with way too much time in his hands. So you're going to shuffle, and ideally, when you finish shuffling them, put them back in the original order. That would make things so much better. And what was your name again?
Darryl.
Darryl, can you do me a favour? I've got a pad here. Just down this bit there where I've put the X, can you take the pen and can you write your name for me?
Yeah.
I'm going to cover up what's at the top and you'll see what. Is it writing? I have a spare.
Not quite.
Yeah, I'll try this one. It's okay. It's my fault, Darryl. I shouldn't have picked you. So you wrote that, and then underneath, just sign your name like you would a check as well. That's great. Is that how you would sign?
It certainly is.
Very good. We're going to put that there. So we're going to do the greatest card trick of all time. I know it's the greatest card trick of all time, and it's a very difficult card trick to do. But I'm 100% confident that I'm going to do it. And if I don't manage to do this trick correctly, Max, you get £50. Yes. Of his money. No, £50 of his money. And I can prove you'll get £50 of this money because he's just signed an IOU for £50. So that was your legal signature, is that right? And that does say I owe you £50. Your signature, you even printed it. That's how, so that's in the business we call that a marker. So if this trick doesn't go right, Darryl has the money. It's absolutely fine. So the idea is that you're going to pick a card, any card, take any one that you want to, any one of the 52 cards. In fact, I'll spread them out like this because I can see that you're deliberating. So move the marker out the way slightly.
50 quid on the line here, mate.
Yeah, it's huge.
And do you want to sign it? Why don't you sign it? Put your name on the face of the card. Not on the back, on the face. Not on your face, on the face of the card. Big, huge letters, though, from one side to the other. Not just a little signature, so you can see it from a distance. And underneath, put your bank account number and sort code. That'd be even better. I'll take the pen back, because that's how I got it. And you're going to put the card back. So as I go through, just say stop.
Stop.
Lovely, put the card back there. And we'll leave it down in the middle. And I'll give the cards a couple of cuts. And I will give the cards a shuffle. So to find your card, I have very sensitive fingers. And I'm going to try and find your card with a series of fancy cuts. Dynamo style cuts. Watch this. All I have to do is cut like this, cut like this, cut like this. Take the cards, cut like this, like this, like this, like this. Then I take the cards and give them one of these, 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 one of these. I get one card and one card only. The greatest card trick of all time, Max. Your card, the king of clubs, and I even managed to make the signature vanish.
No.
Was that not your card? Your £50 not looking safe at the moment.
Certainly isn't, no.
I have to be honest, Darryl. But Max, don't worry about it. 1 down, 51 to go. It's a long trick. It takes a while. We'll get there. You definitely didn't pick the king of clubs, no? Okay. Let me try that again. Hang on. I always get confused sometimes. Let me try again. So you cut like this, you cut like this, you cut like this, you cut like this, 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 cut like this. Do one of these, 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 one of these. Do one of those. And I get one card and one card only, and that card was the 9 of diamonds. Was that your card?
Nope.
So it wasn't the king of clubs.
Nope.
Not 9 diamonds.
And it wasn't the 9 of diamonds.
No.
Okay, forget the cutting. Hang on, maybe first I just cut like this and like this. You have got £50, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You sure?
Good.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go even better. What about if I give the cards a twist? I snap my fingers and I make one card turn over in the middle of the deck, and that would be your card.
Yeah.
Watch this. One card turns over in the middle of the deck, just like that. One card face down. One card. I know. One card only. If that was your card, would that be a good trick?
That would be a good trick.
What was the name of your card?
The ace of diamonds.
The ace of diamonds. You know what's really weird? This is the king of clubs, which is the card that was there. That can only mean one thing.
Surely.
If the king of clubs is here, have a look. And it's a good news situation. And the reason is, very, very simply, A, I found your card. You get that as a souvenir. You can put it up on your bedroom wall next to One Direction posters. But the other good news is, you don't have to give him your £50. The IOU, which we call a marker, I'm going to get rid of that marker. Obviously, as a magician, I would get rid of it by magic. I'd snap my fingers. And you signed and it said IOU, £50. Now it says marker complete right there, which is amazing. So if I take this off, just so you don't think I'm going to try and take anything, you can have the marker, and then you don't owe.
Now, everything that you just saw there is just the icing on the cake. My mind was racing with ideas, and I just couldn't stop thinking of it. And like, oh, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. And then if we did this, we could do this. I just loved working on this project. I really did. And I'm very proud, to be honest, to be a part of it. I think it's exceptional. Now, the one thing that you need to know, now, if you're going to be doing this in a stage environment and you're going to do one routine, like a lot of the mentalism applications, totally not an issue, right? One off, one and done, boom, job done, awesome. If you want to do this close-up and you want to do this walk-around, there is a reset in between tables. Now, the reset isn't very long. The reset, I have managed to get to about 15 seconds. So in about 15 seconds, I can reset this trick, but I can't do it in front of people. You need to kind of just walk away for a few seconds, find somewhere, do the reset, and do it again. Now, I've got a ton of routines on this project. The thing that you need to understand is in order to go from one routine to the other, you need to do a slightly longer reset. So if you were going to go from, I've got this really cool routine, which is based on, letters on a piece of paper that change to a celebrity reveal. If you want to go from that to, the rising card, the close-up version of the cardiographic, for example, well, you're going to need to do a slightly longer reset. That would take more of a minute, really, to reset it. So if you're wanting to do the same routine over and over again, not a problem. It's about a 10, 15-second reset. Once you get used to how to reset this, it's just a case of doing that, job done, ready. If you want to switch to a different routine, you are going to need to do... you don't need to make it from scratch, but you need to take something out and put something else in. So the reset is really more of about a minute. So I just want to give you all the information that you need. I mean, I've been using this since I shot the performances. I have been using this a hell of a lot, and I've just been using it for the one routine a few times in one night. So the reset isn't very long. I can literally walk away from the table as I'm scouting about where to go next. I'm resetting it, and then it goes back in the pocket and I walk over to the next table. And that's one of the reasons I love this so much, because the pad's bigger than like some business cards with elastic bands, for example. It's more visible from a distance. So you can see this from much further back than you would do with some business cards. So if you're doing banquet and you're walking up to a big table of 10 people, not a problem. Absolutely not an issue. This is going to be seen by everybody, even in low lighting situations, because it's bigger. You're doing this in parlour. You're doing this in a formal close-up show. This is great. I'm not saying it's not going to work in Mix and Mingle or a restaurant or something like that. It will, for sure, 100%. But I think the real beauty in this is being able to do it where you've got a few people in front of you, right? So that's what you need to know. This is incredible. This is the best version of Out to Lunch I've ever seen. You've got two types of tutorial on here. You've got all of my material with doing it from a close-up point of view. Then you've got all the mentalism routines as well. It's a wonderful product with a lot of information in there and a lot of live performances, as you have come to expect from Penguin Magic. Just bear in mind that there is a small reset and a slightly longer reset depending on how you want to use this pad. Yeah, that's all you need to know. I'm going to give this 100%. I don't get involved in a project unless I absolutely love this, and I love it. And I saw this and I said to Penguin, I love this. I really would like to be involved in this. I think this is great. And I was very lucky that they let me get involved in it and talk about it from a magical point of view and what the applications are for magicians. It gets 100%. It's great. I absolutely love it. Well done to everybody involved. So there you go, guys. That is another review show in the bag. Another review show special. Do me a favor. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back again very, very soon, tomorrow with the 5x5. If you haven't checked it out, go check out the Q&A from 12 o'clock today. Yesterday, I had an interview with Killian O'Connor. Go check that out. Friday, I had an expose, I think it was, on the Mirage deck. project. Go check that out. Loads of Magic Lives to look at as well. And if you haven't already done so, go check out the NETRIX. It's my online streaming platform for magicians. It's www.thenetrix.com. Go check it out. See what all the fuss is about. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig from Magic TV.